For the last part of my meal prep, I like to end it with making something a little bit sweet as a healthy treat. I'm actually going to be making homemade raspberry chocolates, which doesn't sound very healthy, but I promise you these are much healthier than traditional chocolate that you would be buying in the store. So let's get started. This is the first time I'm making these, so I'm really excited to see how they turn out. To get started with the raspberry filling, I'm just putting this small pot over medium heat, and then I'm gonna add in all the ingredients for the filling. So this is a 10-ounce bag of frozen raspberries. I'm sure you could probably use fresh, but this way I know they're already washed, and it just makes it even easier. Now to that, I'm gonna add in 3 tablespoons of sugar. I'm going to use this sugar alternative just to make it a little bit more healthy. And then I'm also going to be adding in 1 tablespoon of good old regular cornstarch. I also have 1/3 cup of water, so I'm going to add that in right now. And then I'm just going to let this cook over medium heat. I'm just going to stir it every now and then until the raspberries kind of break down and it gets kind of thick and bubbly. So I'll show you what that looks like when it's there. So while my raspberries are cooking, I'm going to get started on the chocolates. So I am going to be using coconut oil and creamy almond butter. And I'm going to be adding 1/2 cup of each to this bowl. It has to be microwave safe because once you add both of those to the bowl, we're going to microwave it in like 15 to 30 second intervals until the coconut oil melts. So as you can see, my raspberries are bubbling away over here. This actually only took a few minutes, maybe like 5 or 6 minutes. So I'm going to put this in the fridge to cool. If you aren't a fan of like the raspberry seeds, you could put this through a strainer to strain those out, but I honestly don't think I'm gonna mind them, so I'm not gonna bother doing that. Okay, back to my chocolates. My almond butter and coconut oil are out of the microwave, and as you can see, that coconut oil is completely melted. So I'm just gonna make sure that those are really well combined before I add in the rest of the ingredients, which is only 2 more things. So this is a pretty simple ingredient, and you probably have, or simple recipe, you probably have most of the ingredients. So this is some unsweetened cocoa powder, and I'm gonna add in 1/4 cup of that. You obviously need this to make it chocolatey. And then the only other ingredient is 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Obviously pure maple syrup is preferred, but my kids don't like that, so I'm using the fake stuff. It is what it is. So I am going to add that in and then make sure that this is whisked together and really well combined. So I have a small baking sheet here, and I just filled them with these mini muffin tin liners, and I'm using the mini ones because that's going to help me with portion control, which is totally my problem. So I'm going to start by filling the bottom of these with a teaspoon of the chocolate mixture, and then they have to go in the fridge to set until they're solid. So these are going in the fridge along with that raspberry filling until they are set. So I just took my chocolates out of the fridge. I probably only had them in there for like 20, maybe 25 minutes, and they're pretty set. So I think that was plenty long enough. So now I'm just gonna add in a little scoop of that raspberry mixture that we made a little earlier. This is completely cooled, so it's not gonna like melt the chocolate or anything. So I'm gonna add a thin layer of that, and then I'm gonna top it with the rest of my chocolate mixture, and then these go back in the fridge until they're set again. So yes, it's a little bit time consuming to make them, but most of it is just letting them chill in the fridge. So it's not like you're actively doing anything. So yeah, really not too bad. I'll let you know how they turn out in just a little bit. So my chocolates are all done. How good do those look? I'm so proud of myself. So I thought I would try one on camera. So as you can see, I definitely added too much of that raspberry filling. I think I added a teaspoon and I was supposed to add a 1/4 teaspoon. So it's sort of like exploding out of it. Whereas if I had only added a 1/4 teaspoon, it would probably be a little bit more closed. But whatever. They're like the perfect little bite-sized chocolate. The chocolate part itself is super creamy and delicious. Tastes, you can definitely taste a lot of the almond butter in it. So maybe I would cut back on that a little bit, or maybe add a little bit more cocoa powder next time, because you really get a lot of that nut butter flavor and a little bit less cocoa. But they're delicious. Wow, that was really, really good.
Yes, you can. Kitchen Mama.